Disturbing media is in a lot of things, may it be through documentaries, movies, TV shows, or today's format we're talking about, video games. I like to highlight some disturbing games I've played throughout my life or new ones I've been playing recently. And by doing so, I'll usually drop a video of this type with 3 games, maybe 4, maybe 2, to highlight those games in question. With that being said, let's go straight into this. And if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. So with that, thank you for stopping by. The first game we'll be talking about, we have Andy's Apple Farm. Now see, Andy's Apple Farm is a very important type of disturbing game, to me at least. I like it for the simple fact that it plays on a lot of analog horror elements that we see today. If you're not familiar with analog horror, I have a reaction to one of them, a very popular one called The Walton Files. And this one's particularly very Walton-esque. But to give a more clear example is analog horror is where a story is being told through an older media format, say VHSs or even DVDs in some cases, or old videos found, whatever. It's a story through old media, hence the name analog horror, right? A lot of visuals come from distorted looking faces, humanistic eyes, and the main part is supernatural tendencies of real life events. And that's where we kind of bridge the gap with Andy's Apple Farm. Because there's 2 things going on here. There's 2 stories. Andy's Apple Farm is made by a game developer, which his name's eluding me at the second, but I'll put it on the screen. Made by a game developer where it looks like we're a playtester for Andy's Apple Farm before he releases to the public. And that's all we gotta do is play the game. Simple concept, right? Well, it wouldn't be a good analog horror game if you wouldn't have secret lore sprinkled out through all of it. So, since it's a beta we're testing with Andy's here, it has a lot of bugs, a lot of issues, a lot of things that need to be addressed. And that is, again, the job of a tester. And as we're doing these bugs, Andy and his friends start to tweak out, and we see things we're probably not supposed to see. Now, what makes this very interesting is, after being told all this information, you're thinking, oh, okay, so it's a straightforward story playing the game. No. And that's another key thing about the analog horror aspect of this type of genre. They like to tell the stories out of place. And again, with the Walton Files, despite having tapes numbered 1 through 5 at this point, I'm pretty sure, they're not necessarily in order. And that same goes for Andy too. And another big analog one I would like to say would be, I believe is what's it called? The Mandela's Catalog. That's also way out of order. Like the first video is not the first one in chronological order. So to get the actual proper lore of Andy here, you would have to replay this game multiple times and see things you missed the first time. And I'm going to go ahead and make it painfully clear. I played it once, all the way through. I've got a couple cutscenes. You might see them in the background right now, but I did play it all the way through. So I do know what I'm talking about here in this aspect. Now, I would also like to add, what makes Andy stand out even more after all this stuff for being a double game and a story in the background on top of just a, hey, play this game, I like the very subtle, but then not subtle, kind of meta-esque telling of a story. Because at this point, it's ripping on Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, cursed game, cursed little cute concept. It's another mascot horror, right? We've seen it all. We've seen it before. It's been done to death at this point, for a lack of better words. But with Andy, they do a very nice little thing where Andy technically himself isn't cursed yet. It's more of the lines of, there's something in the game trying to show us something. There's a dark entity trying to get a hold of us and the family affected in the B story happening in the background, which let's talk about the B story of Andy's. Andy's story, well, I guess I'm gonna call him Andy for the sake of, you know, just so we're all clear. But for Andy's story in the real world, there's a man who had a wife, 2 kids, and a friend who I believe the friend was another developer for the game. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Now, again, since I played it once, the story is in bits and pieces, and I cannot stress enough, play this game on your own. It's like $3 on Steam. It's really interesting, and I like it. But from what I can gather from what all I've seen on one playthrough is real world Andy, we'll call him that. Yeah, we'll just call him Human Andy. Human Andy and his wife had, again, mentioned 2 kids. 2 kids go out fishing. The 2 kids go fishing, and then something compelled the older sister to just snap and push her brother off the boat. And we see this as one of the mini games in the fishing dock, where you can go dig out his body in the fishing background, which when I first saw it, horrifying. I was like, oh, it's one of these games, which lucky me, right? I love playing this game at 3 a.m. And while I don't know exactly how they discuss her freaking out and pushing her brother off, we do see more glimpse of the aftermath afterwards. We see that the human Andy and his wife have problems because of it. Human Andy kind of resents his daughter for killing his son, which, you know, this is why this game's disturbing me, because it's one of those things where, like, I can't get mad at the man for being upset because you killed my kid, but at the same time, you can't be mad at her because it wasn't her fault. I've seen a lot of people make a comparison to having a psychotic break. It's like you did what you did was wrong, but it wasn't you who did it. It's a very big metaphor of the monster that makes you do things. Now, while I will give human Andy slack on that aspect, there's some things he does later that I cannot abide or cannot slide, and that's another disturbing thing about it. I get a lot of kind of like a James Sunderland kind of feel with him. Like, his actions are wrong, but I know why he does it, and it's up to you to determine, okay, are you evil? Is it your fault? Did you let it happen? Let's talk about it. Now, fast forward to another key point when you play another minigame. I can't remember which one, but when you do this minigame wrong and then you beat it the second time, you get another clue, and I believe it's around Christmas time in the real world for Andy's family, where we see that, I want to say Andy in the real world and his wife have already split, and then we have just the daughter and the mother, and then Andy's friend, or I think brother actually? No, I think it's just his friend. Then Andy's brother comes around and helps around the house. Now, you know, we're all adults here, and we're all, you know, I can just say what we're gonna say. There's nothing wrong with shooting your shot, but shooting your shot at your best friend or brother's, you know, ex-wife after they just split and lost a child, maybe not the best timing. So that's something where I get why Andy in the real world got upset. Now, his next action, I don't condone. In the next action, in the next game we see, in another minigame, we see that Andy, unfortunately, also got affected by this entity in this very game we play, affects him, and he lures his friend out to the woods, and then he kills him with an axe. I know I kind of paraphrased this story kind of quickly, and I left a lot of details out, because I want to do this semi-spoilers, but not too much said. But spoilers, right? Now, the reason why I did this is I want to talk more about the impact of how this game affected me and why I think it's disturbing and why you should play it if you like this type of thing. There's something about a game trying to show you, like, hey, some fucked up shit's going on right now in the background. You probably should pay attention. Or it makes you question, are people's actions really their own? When people do something heinous and evil and shitty, is it really them doing that? Can they really not help themselves? It's nature versus nurture. And I really like that for a little 2-bit game like that. Albeit, I don't know if I put it in the video, but it scared the hell out of me at some point. You'll probably see if I cut to it. But I genuinely love this game. And I believe there's another game tied to it where it's like, I didn't know it. It's like a whole other title, a whole other game that adds more lore to it. So if you want me to talk about the second game, please let me know and I'll do that. But as of right now, I cannot recommend Andy enough. Is Andy's Apple Farm game disturbing? If you've been around the internet, this is a light entry. I feel like if you want to dip your toes into it, this is a good start. It's not the craziest thing out there. It's very similar to other things people will call disturbing, i.e. mentioned the Walton Files, Five Nights at Freddy, etc. But I feel like this is a very good entry for the game. Hence why this probably... Oh, okay. Yeah, I put it in the video for you. But it's probably a good entry for those who are not familiar with the subject. Now, with that being said, on to our second game.
Okay, are you ready? Camera, action.
Manhunt is just one of those games where it can be made today, and I'm glad it exists. Because it serves a lot of, it's like a reminder of what we came from as a society. At the same time, it shows you how soft we've gotten when it comes to media and how we portray things. Now, to give you full context, prior to Manhunt's gameplay and the story and the overall disturbingness of it, I'm gonna give you full context of why this game even exists, right? So number one, Rockstar, the development team behind it, they were tired of the news media and bitchy parents and overall people just upset with them for making very violent games. San Andreas came out right before this, I believe, and other GTA games prior, and something else I can't think of, but if I can find it, I'll pop it up there, because I don't think, Red Dead's after this. But they're tired of it, right? So what they decided to do is like, well, we'll give you a game to complain about. We'll give you the most violent, brutal game physically possible. And fun fact, I used to work at a GameStop for a while, and legally speaking, in Canada, I'm in America, but we heard about this, you cannot even take that game, this or Manhunt 2, you cannot accept that game because it's one of the few games to get adult only, and it was too graphic. So that should give you an hindsight on how bad this game is going to be when I talk about it. Now, into the actual gameplay. To follow the story of Manhunt, the main protagonist is James Earl Cash. He is a death row inmate for being a prolific serial killer. Theory is that given his combat skills with every weapon ever and he's really good at sneaking, he probably was a hitman. Because he does get scared at certain points, like you hear him gasp and say, oh shit, when he sees one of the final bosses towards the end. So it's suspected he wasn't just going around killing people for fun. I think he was a paid contractor, but that's neither here nor there. While you're on death row, before you get the jab in the intro cutscene, a man named Lionel Starkweather, a prolific a prolific director, he bailed you out because he wants to make the perfect snuff film, or films in this case, because you're gonna spend the rest of the night, from that whole night, killing people to make his film. Now, that's a simple premise, and you're thinking, all right, so you just go around killing people who probably don't deserve it because snuff films are just that, just people dying for no real reason. Well, I guess you can argue that Manhunt you're not totally a villain because the people you killed are bad people. It's a shitty person killing even shittier people somehow. And I want to say, without looking it up, I believe hey, super fast, I may have misspoke on how many gangs are in Manhunt, so we're gonna list all of them right now. And if you hear me refer to only these gangs, just know I do know about them. This is post-edit, my bad, oops. So really quick, we have the Hoods, which is just regular guys / crooked cops. That's a popular theory, given their certain voice lines are the same from GTA San Andreas. The Skins, which is, again, as mentioned, the Kanye West fans, we're gonna call them. Then the War Dogs, which is the private military group, which Ramirez is the final boss of. Then we have the Innocents, which is the half Latino occult gang, and apparently, according to the wiki, alleged pedophiles and serial killers. So yeah, fuck them. Then we have the Smileys, which is just, I didn't count them as a faction. I just saw them as the people just overran the prison, which I guess sure, but yeah, that's just them. That's the prison level group. And then after that, we have Cerberus, which is the military group. And apparently, I did not know about this, but there's a group called the Monkeys. I don't recall them. I don't know if that's like a bonus thing or what, but I do not remember the Monkeys at all playing this game. So yeah, there you go. That is all the factions really fast for Manhunt. But my point stands true in my little review, and that is, yeah, these guys fucking suck, and there's no redeeming qualities about none of them. I'm gonna walk back what I said about the War Dogs, like, oh, they're just army guys, PTSD. No, they're war criminals. All of them. They're just bad. Who's to say, right? It's Manhunt. They very well could be just all assholes, because there's a guy you've killed at that point named Ramirez, and he's a ex-military loony bin tune, just villain-esque person, right? Now, with that being said, who do you think is the final villain of this? Surprise, is the dictator. Oh, I keep wanting to call him a dictator. I mean, that's how he acts, right? The director, Lionel Starkweather. He is the final kill in his own movie. It's poetic. The final person before that is a serial killer that you kind of get whispers of throughout the game, and his name is Pigsley. I'm gonna put an image of Pigsley and just really look at Pigsley. Really look at that. Because this is one of the few times we hear James talk outside of cutscenes to the reporter, which, side plot, there's a reporter trying to report on all this, and she's in Carcer City. That's the city name of it. And Carcer City is really bad. Like, it's comically evil. Gotham ain't got shit on Carcer City, right? You can take Los Santos, you can take Liberty City, and you can take Gotham, and you still wouldn't get how bad Carcer City is. So she's in the city in the thick of all of this shit, following us, trying to report on this, and she gets captured, and you get an escort mission, which I just beat this game recently. I fucking hate that mission, because she keeps dying, because she can't sit still. You can tell her way, but I swear she just moves, but I'm getting too mad again. And that's kind of just where we're going, right? That's just the plot of the story. And there's a lot of big crazy people out there that even James reacts to. See again, Pigsley and Ramirez. However, there's one more thing I have to mention thematically about the story before the actual gameplay, because the selling point is the gameplay more than the story itself. I can't help but notice when they made the sequel, Manhunt 2, they went for a Fight Club approach, and I don't want to spoil too much on that unless you know what Fight Club is about, right? I'm not going to spoil that. But it's really interesting with that direction versus what they did with Manhunt 1, where you're just a dude. I mean, not an ordinary dude, but you're just a plain old serial killer, right? And that's just in itself a crazy concept, because not a lot of games nowadays do that. I think the closest game we've ever got to a spiritual successor in a way was Hatred, where that dude was just vile and an asshole, but that had no charm. It was just really a simulator kind of. It's just like, I don't want to play this because this guy's just loony with no cause. And that's why I kind of like Manhunt as a game. While it's the most vile, heinous shit you can think of, there's still a point to it. There's still a story being told. It's not just, oh, I'm edgy, look at me, which it is edgy trash. We're not gonna pretend say it's not, but it's definitely edgy trash. Was that out the way? The gameplay of it is, it's a stealth-based Assassin's Creed game. This is Assassin's Creed before it was Assassin's Creed. You hide in shadows, you lurk up, and you have to silently execute most people when you can. Sometimes you have to use guns in quick succession, then leave. Most areas are well lit, or out of shadows, or no place to hide. That usually happens. Sometimes you have to run for your life. You might see gameplay of that right now on the screen. What makes this so interesting is there's so many different weapons for a game of its time, and there's so many different unique executions. There's, I want to say, just spitballing, at least 25 handheld weapons you can use once or multiple times, and each have 3 different executions. That's 75 different ways to kill a person in one game. They really wanted you to go out and do evil, heinous shit to piss off the people who were bitching about violent games. And as a petty person, I respect that. And you know, I should make this very clear because it may sound like I'm being a fanboy of this game, and I am. Let me tell you a little backstory about good old Ramen here, right? When I was about a wee lad, I want to say when this game came out in 04, I was 6, going on 7. My stepdad had bought this game and he played it. I never watched him play it as much, but until my mom got into it and she watched him play it. So he was kind of like the first Let's Player in my opinion. So if he hears this, you're my first YouTuber. Now, that's fine and dandy. So when I'm like a small child watching this gameplay, it didn't really affect me at the time until I got a little bit older and I want to play it for myself. And I'm like, oh yeah, I should not be watching this as a child. I definitely should have not been consuming this type of media at a young age. Which is why, after everything I said and done about this game and this little mock review talking about it and the experience of it, I can confidently say, is Manhunt disturbing? Yes. Yes, it is. Now, part 2 to this question that I won't do again for a long time for most other games, given the history behind this game. Do I think it's disturbing in today's standards? They couldn't make it because we don't care about actually offending people anymore. We don't care about that. We care about making money. We as a society care about, oh, that just wouldn't sell. Oh, that wouldn't do right. We don't care about artistic value. Because Manhunt does have artistic value, no matter how edgy it looks. There is a story behind it. There is an art direction behind it. There's a method behind it. You unironically have a lot in common with the director here. We want to make film, or in this case, we want to play a good game. But nowadays, I don't think we can do disturbing without people making a big stink about it. Like, what's that game called? Agony, I believe. People threw up pitchforks over that. And I said Hatred. I don't like Hatred. I think Hatred is just edgy trash. I don't want to start beef. If you like it, hey, that's you. I'm gonna put my hands up. But there's no real reason to play it, in my opinion. Manhunt is like, oh yeah, I'll recommend this to you. So yes, it's disturbing, but it's a gateway disturbing because there's other games out there that's way worse. Hell, in my opinion, I think the sequel's worse than this. But again, it is what it is. And that is just Manhunt the game. I, for one, can talk more and more about it. I might make a more in-depth video one day, just for the sake of this mini review bomb of 3 different disturbing games that I will do throughout my channel life. I can confidently say Manhunt is top 10 disturbing games for a beginning level person who want to get into the genre, in my opinion. So with that being said, on to our next and probably our final game. I don't even know where to start for this final game, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, little peek behind the editing process here, or the video making. I played this game first out of the 3 lineup, and I wish I didn't. Yeah, this is bad parenting. I'm not gonna say it's the most disturbing, because, you know, it's up there. Like, I'm gonna skip to the end and say, like, is this game disturbing? Yes, it's 100% disturbing. But it's not disturbing in the sense, like, it's disturbing because it's real. And I guess to get to it, because I'm gonna try my best not to really spoil it. There are gonna be some light spoilers and some implications, and you can fill out the rest. You just go play this game. It's just go play it if you can handle this type of subject matter. But Bad Parenting Mr. Redface is a game where you play as a little boy, and without saying too much, it's his birthday when you start the game, and it opens up immediately with your mom coming home late from work, and you waited up all night for her to get your gift for your birthday. She didn't have one, and then your dad behind you is pissed off saying you stayed late home from work again, which the implications are there on why she's staying late and why he's getting mad. But since you're a kid, you don't really catch on why she does. She just tells you, oh, it's this, and you think nothing of it. But dad over there seems not too keen about it. But then we see how dad's behavior is, and you understand why she stays home late. Not saying I condone that type of behavior with the implications of why she stays home late, but again, if that's how you act, don't be surprised when somebody looks for something else. The game basically starts with them having an argument, and your dad calls you a little shit and says go to your room. But before you go, your mom told you about, hey, the reason why you don't have your gifts is because Mr. Redface will come and take it and leave it for you because you're a good kid. Kind of like a Santa Claus thing. Just she made it up on the fly for him to feel better. Like, oh, you'll get your gift from him. So when you go to your room and you go to bed, you see Mr. Redface. He comes through the door. He turns on the light. He looks dead at you. The lights flicker. Then he walks to the closet. It flickers again, and he leaves. You wake up the next morning, you go open the box, and there's a gift. It's a doll. It's a doll with a limp neck that says we have the same senses, we have the same feelings. The first thing he asks you to do, can you open the closet? He tells you no, you can't. You tried twice and it won't budge. And the second time, he says, I'm hungry. And I'm sorry for talking slower, because this game's a little like, it's personal to me in the sense, like, I'm very blessed to have good parents. Like, even like on my dad's side of things, even though we didn't see eye to eye in the beginning, I could never say he was no Mr. Redface. He was a good, he tried his best in his own special kind of way. And the same for my mom. I love my mom to death. But I've known people who had to put up with this type of home style, and it's, the light in their eyes is just gone, and that's the most depressing shit ever. Which is why, like, I try to make this part of the video as most respectful I can, and not go too much into it. Not like I'm gonna put a trigger warning, because you knew what kind of video this was when we talked about disturbing media, and this is what makes it the most disturbing to me, because it's real. Like, this is real life. People have to deal with this type of behavior. And without saying too much, unfortunately, in this particular game and story, it gets worse for this kid. You can take that as you see it. But without talking about the story and the gameplay as super much, let's just talk about the name Mr. Redface and the implication what that is. So to my understanding when I was researching this game prior, the creator is, I don't want to get this wrong, Vietnamese or some South Asian, where when they drink, they get flushed red face really bad. Hence the name Mr. Redface, and hence the implication that the dad is a drunk. So she was saying Mr. Redface, i.e. your dad will get the gift for you. And when you get to the end of the game, yeah, he gave you that gift, all right? He left you that doll, and it's, man, I'm sorry for taking so many breaks. It's just, it's a rough play, man. It's rough. Like, I replayed it to get a better understanding of it, and once I know, like, the twist, it's just so, the sweetest fucking kid, bro. Just, oh my God, this game just crushes you at your soul, man. Yeah, man, it's disturbing. If I haven't made it more obvious already, it's disturbing. And like, for the love of God, if you know somebody like that, and please just reach out to them. Just be their tether, be their point. Always check on your kids, check on your friends, check on your families, bro. This game it's just sad. It's just a sad play. Good game, just sad, bro. Just so fucking sad. If you want a final summary of what this game is about, remember this phrase when it comes to just child, like upbringing and child safety. Every child deserves a home, but not every home deserves a child. I haven't felt like I'm talking in the past tense, but you've already seen it. Like, I'm about to play Manhunt, for fuck's sake, before I play the other games. I'm about to play Manhunt. I know what that is going in, and that didn't bother me to my core. It's like, oh, I'm just a serial killer, right? Whatever. I'm gonna play Andy's Apple Farm, which to my knowledge is like an ARG about a spooky dead family. Yeah, whatever. But it's just too real, bro. And I know someone's gonna play, it's like, oh, it's not that deep. Cool, bro. I'm glad you missed the edgy boy and you just tank it all. That's fine. But fuck, man. Why did I do this to myself? I blame y'all. One of you in an old video said they recommended me this game. I know somebody did. It's one of y'all's fault. But that's gonna be the video for now. This has been my little review bomb of 3 disturbing games. I'm gonna try to make this I don't want to lie because life's been kicking my ass. I'm gonna try to make this like a bi-monthly. Am I saying that word right? Every other 2 months? I don't know. Let's just use that. I will use this every other 2 months to try to make this video since it's 3 games, and I don't know how long they are. But if there's any games you want me to do that fits this type of genre of disturbing, please let me know down in the comments. And all I ask, if it's like this game, please give me a warning. Not like a trigger warning, like, oh, it's too scary. Just give me a warning like, hey man, make sure you play this on your day off, because you're gonna feel things. Like, I have to clock into work after I've just played this game. I have to just be like, yeah, my day's fine. It's not. But thank you for watching. I'm so sorry if this video takes a while. I don't want to say what day it is when I recorded this, just know it's before July, so I'm sorry if it's way past that point now. Thank you so much for watching, it means a lot. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.